Prepare yourself.
Oh.
All right, baby, here we
Limber
go.
up! Limber up!
Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Do you think this is Disney World's best ride? If not, what is? We asked our followers on Facebook, and now our team is debating this hot topic.
A lot of our followers said that Guardians of the Galaxy is the best ride in Disney World, which is bold because it's new.
Right.
It's like
Really
so
bold.
new. So, I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy just opened earlier this summer. It is a roller coaster, an Omni coaster, completely indoors. Omni coaster meaning that it does have a 360-degree radius on those cars and spins while you're on the track. There are screens and things as you hurtle through space and help the Guardians with the mission. So it's certainly a very fun ride, but bold to say. People are saying it's the best ride in Disney World. Christina said it's at least on her top 3 list for sure. And I think it made our top 5 list as well in our Epcot top 5 videos that you guys did, Emma and Sage.
It
So-
definitely did.
It did.
It definitely did. Also,
100%.
Screens and things. That's my new favorite phrase.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you did.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Screens and things.
Screens and things.
Disney is catering towards Universal fans, and they're now doing screens and things.
Shots fired. So literally, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is a mashup of the following: Space Mountain, Rock and Roller Coaster, with the ride vehicle of Escape from Gringotts at Universal Studios.
Oh.
You could also just go on those 3 rides individually and get the same experience, and put your headphones in, and then listen to some cool 80s music, and you're good to
Hey,
go.
Rock and Roller Coaster even has changing songs on it. Like there's different songs for when you ride on Rock and Roller Coaster. So that's very apt for anybody who hasn't ridden Guardians of the Galaxy before. I think that pretty much sums up what Guardians feels like, just also with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Frybucket,
Yep.
do you think Guardians is a contender for Disney's best ride?
I am not sure about that. I think it is very fun. The way that I describe it to anyone who hasn't ridden it yet, I say it is so much fun. It's awesome. It's a great ride. I think currently, right now, it is my favorite because it's new and it's exciting and it's different every time you ride it. I don't know if it's a contender for the best ride, though, because
Not even a contender.
What?
I don't know.
Those are big
Wow.
words.
That's a bold statement. I know.
Yeah, I fired shots. That's
Well,
shots
okay,
fired.
Quincy just described it as screens and things. Okay, does that make it the best?
That I
But
did.
we're also talking to the person who loves alien swirling saucers. So let's not get crazy
Okay.
here.
Okay. Listen. I can argue that till the day I die. The wait times are not worth it for Slinky Dog. You just walk onto Alien Swirling Saucers. It's an amazing ride. It has amazing music. We're talking about different songs. Has different songs. Don't come at my Alien Swirling
And
Saucers.
a 45-minute wait for Alien Swirling Saucers.
Yeah.
is
No,
worth
I
it?
said no. What?
Alien swirling
did I say-
saucers is a carnival ride, Fry Bucket.
Go.
It makes
No.
me depressed.
I want you all to go on Alien Swirling Saucers and tell me you didn't have fun.
I will say, I think that there is a point to be made on the best rideness of this ride, because though I do find it very fun, it's not for everyone. And I have heard a number of our readers and people just in the park when I'm eavesdropping on them, accidentally, not on purpose, say that they find the ride to be motion sickness inducing and sometimes a little jarring and just not all that fun. So though I do find it very fun, I know that it's not for everyone, which I think being for everyone is an important part of the best, you know?
It is, but can you please everyone?
So, speaking of it's not for everybody, because it is such a thrill ride and you're in complete darkness, there's a spoiler alert, backwards launch. So it is definitely probably on the more thrilling side, and for people who get motion sickness, there is the potential there. But I have heard from people who do have motion sickness that because the coaster is so smooth, it ends up not happening, the motion sickness. So that's a kind of an interesting thing.
I'm a motion sickness prone gal, and I don't get motion sick on it. Bobby says something interesting. He says, if I didn't have any biased opinion about any other rides and rode every single ride in Disney World for the very first time, including Guardians of the Galaxy, I'd say it's the best ride at Disney, which is interesting. Whoa. And I think might be true when I think about it.
I think
know.
He's probably 100% accurate.
With that. I think if I wrote it without bias, it would be, my number one. It's already a contender for me in general. So if I wrote it without bias, then it probably would be. Sorry, Fry.
That's a very strong statement. And there's some on this list that we're going to talk about. There's even others that aren't on the list that I'm like.
But if you didn't love the story, I feel like the most interesting ride that does all the things, I feel like Cosmic Rewind would be like, especially an adrenaline rush. I guess, I don't know. Okay, I guess we would say it was the best thrill ride on Walt Disney property with no bias.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a really good ride. And the other benefit that it has going for it right now is the virtual queue. So right now with Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, you do use either a virtual queue to ride or an individual lightning lane purchase. Virtual queue is free. Both of those take a little strategy to get, especially on busier days. The virtual queue can sell out within a minute when it opens at 7 a.m. Although you do get a second chance at 1 p.m. and sometimes at 6 p.m. Getting the virtual queue, I have found it a lot easier than in the past with Rise of the Resistance. And usually you only wait like 20 minutes when you actually go to the ride. And the lightning lane, of course, if you purchase that, it's pretty much a walk-on, which though you have to do that to ride the ride, the accessibility of not waiting hours for what I'm sure this ride would rank up to hours-long waits because of how popular it is. That's pretty cool for this too, which I do like. But I think you guys are right that there are certainly some contenders for better, and I want to hear about them.
Well, in my humble, very humble, because when you think of me, you think of humble. In my humble opinion,
Sage Humble Starkey. That's what we call you.
In my humble opinion, honestly, no, I think it's got to be Rise the Resistance. From a couple different perspectives, right? So first off, Rise the Resistance is the big attraction at Hollywood Studios in Galaxy's Edge, where basically you're working with Resistance and then all of a sudden you get kidnapped by the First Order and things go awry. Just from a perspective of Disney in general, let's get deep here for a second, kids. Disney in general, what are they the best at? Storytelling. Why do you love Disney? Storytelling. And this is the most story immersive attraction. It's part thrill, part dark ride. It's trackless, so there's so much technology involved, and also it plays on a brand that a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people love. There's a nostalgia aspect to it, and for even the newer ones, this plays on the newer movies, so you're not going to see Darth Vader, but you're going to see the newer movies like Kylo Ren and Finn and Poe. So it's one of my, I think it's one of the best rides. And even Marianne agrees with me, who says, no question, Rise is a much better ride than Guardians of the Galaxy, because she said too many people puking after getting off Guardians of the Galaxy. So
people don't typically puke after Rise of the Resistance. It's not a very motion sickness inducing ride because most of it is physical sets. Unlike Guardians of the Galaxy, you are riding through physical sets that are insanely massive. Hands down, I have to agree, this is hands down the most immersive ride in Disney World. And for a long time, I've said that Rise of Resistance is the best ride in Disney World. It might be the best ride in the world, even if it isn't my favorite. Is definitely really fun. Rise of Resistance is an experience as a whole. But I will put a caveat in here that I haven't run into with Guardians, which is Rise is the best when it works all the way. Because pretty much every day, at least a portion of Rise of the Resistance is running in B mode, which is what Disney runs when a part isn't working. So for instance, the very climactic confrontation with Kylo Ren on Rise of the Resistance can sometimes be him flying outside the ship on a screen instead of the animatronic, or sometimes when a lightsaber stabs through the ceiling, it just sits there and just doesn't do anything. My pro tip with Rise of Resistance is always to ride it first thing in the morning because it has the best chance of everything working first thing in the morning. And I rode it recently, and it was the first time in a long time that I've ridden it where there wasn't something off about it.
I have to say, I have not been on it in probably 2 or 3 months when everything was working. I don't know if I just have really bad luck, because maybe it's me. You know, a little Disco Inferno with Quincy curse, you know, maybe this is my curse. But it's been a hot minute since anything has worked. So maybe, I don't know.
For those that don't know,
I was going to say, we should talk about that.
For a long time. Yeah, I have been for a long time cursed on Guardians of the Galaxy to only hear Disco Inferno. Although my curse was broken. I don't know if does everyone hear
your
this?
curse is broken because you passed it on to me. I have only ever heard Disco Inferno.
That's okay. That's fine. I'm cool with it.
But what
You're
you do,
welcome, Fry Bucket.
What Quincy and I did to break the curse is we sang Disco Inferno before we got on the attraction. Mm-hmm. So if you just sing it beforehand.
So then you sing it beforehand, you break the Disco Inferno curse. We figured it out. Sage helped you break the Disco Inferno curse, so all is well. So, Emma, maybe if you, I don't know, break something before you get on Rise of the Resistance.
I would so prefer not to do that. I mean, I would rather be cursed and have to break something every time I want to go on Rise. But maybe you know, Disney will fix it.
So Matthew agrees with me. In my opinion, Star Wars Rise of the Resistance is the best ride in Disney World. He says, don't get me wrong, I think Cosmic Rewind is a fun ride, but it's easy to get lost in the story of Guardians. I feel that Rise of the Resistance and Twilight Zone Tower of Terror are better rides because they are backed by great storytelling. Again, story, baby. Story.
That's a good point, Matthew, because sometimes I'm on Guardians and I ride it and I'm not, like, you go so fast I can't even really look at the screen, so I don't really know exactly what is happening. I get the idea of the story. We all know generally what happens and they save the day, but you are zooming really fast past the screen, so you may miss what's going on.
I say often of Rise of the Resistance that when I think about being on that ride, it feels like I'm remembering the time that I was in Star Wars and not like filming the movie. It feels like the time that I was just in the world of Star Wars. Whereas Guardians of the Galaxy, when I remember it, it feels like this. Burn, baby, burn, Disco Inferno, which is not very immersive. Burn, baby, burn, Disco Inferno.
I feel like it is the most immersive ride in the world. It's amazing. But my main complaint about it is not even the ride itself, really. It's an amazing ride. I just wish they would... This is maybe Galaxy's Edge. So if I'm veering off, forgive me. I just would have liked to have seen the original characters a little bit more. Like the people who made me fall in love with Star Wars. Leia, Luke, Darth Vader, you know. You just sprinkle them in. I think that would have made it the absolute #1 for me. You know, that's not something Disney can fix, though. I mean, what's done is done. I'm just not as attached to Rey and Kylo Ren.
Emma, one thing they say about Emma, that girl loves Darth Vader. She loves it.
Love Darth Vader. I just miss seeing him around. And
she's like space tyrant. I love that guy.
And the way that he like accidentally choked Padme in the prequels, like, I love watching it. You know,
it was an accident.
Well, it kind of was. He was really overwhelmed with emotion.
He accidentally killed all the younglings, all the Jedi.
He didn't know what was going on.
Accident.
He was like, "No, what's happening?" And I just miss. I miss Vader. I'm Anakin and Vader until I die. Sorry, Kylo Ren girls.
Wow.
We are not the same.
Well, did we talk about how long these lines can get sometimes? Because that is the one thing about Rise of the Resistance is that there used to be a virtual queue for this, not anymore. That's the one downside to this, that it can be up to, like, I think I've even seen it at 180 minutes. At one point, it was bonkers. But with all that being said, I still think Rise of the Resistance, based on Disney's storytelling standards and immersive, that's what they do, I think it's a better ride than Cosmic Rewind. Just saying.
We've had some strong opinions here today, and I don't think that you're wrong. I just don't think that you guys are right. Because my favorite, yes, I'm ready. I'm ready for some hot takes, and I want to hear what you guys have to say. Because this might not be everybody's favorite, but a lot of our readers at least voted this for their #2. So we're getting into Flight of Passage. Miss Tara, she has some strong opinions, and I'm with Tara on this one. Flight of Passage, if you guys don't know, it's a newer one in Animal Kingdom, new as of 2017. And it's a flight simulator where you get to sit on the back of a banshee and fly through the Valley of Moara in Pandora. It's amazing, and Tara says that it's a close second for her favorite ride. And Robert says it's his top 5 for sure, and it's definitely above Rise of the Resistance. I think it's my number 1, but I want to hear what you guys have to say.
That's another
Wow.
bold statement.
Yeah.
Everybody's
talk
saying
about
things
screens
today.
and things.
Lots of
Screens and things.
I will say the first time I wrote it, I did cry.
I also
Just like hands down.
cried.
Yeah.
also cried the first time I wrote it. And I would
Got
like
emotional.
to preface this. The level of care that I have for the Pandora franchise is almost in the negative. The Avatar franchise. So the tears were not coming from a connection to the story. It was coming from the storytelling itself on that ride, which I think, similar
Agreed.
to what Sage, you were saying with Rise of the Resistance, it's pretty good.
It made me watch the Avatar movie, which for me to go out of my way to go watch something that I traditionally would not keep in my wheelhouse of interests, I think that's pretty intense. Like, I got off that ride and my first thing was like, I have a new obsession and it's Avatar and I'm learning everything about it right now. And I did that day. I watched it twice that day.
Emma gets off the ride,
wow.
immediately
Yeah.
walks into Wind Traders, buys herself Navi ears and a Navi tail, and it goes home and watches Avatar. Every time
my
she rides it, I see
personality
it
now.
happen.
Yeah, it's who I am. And who else can say that about a ride?
I'm not gonna lie. Every time I walk into Wind Traders, there are these like staffs or like they've got I have big like I don't know why, but I think that's my next purchase, and I'm just gonna carry it around during our next video. I'm just gonna like gesture to things with it and be like, I am better than all of you. And
Okay,
just
if you do that, you have to get the headband.
With the
The
ears.
headband.
the staff was a gift from the Navi people to me because they love what I do. On a real note, it is my favorite thing about this attraction is that it's the ride vehicle. We'll call it a seat, I guess, if you will, because you're seated in this bike position because you are technically flying on the back of a Banshee or an Ikron, as they call them. And what's I think the coolest thing about it is that you can feel the Banshee breathing underneath you. And it is the coolest experience. You're like, wow, I am flying on a literal Banshee. But on the opposite side of that coin, to say that this is better than Cosmic Rewind, this is literally Soren on a bike.
Carrie actually agrees with you in the comments. Now, she said nothing can be better than Flight of Passage for her, but because of the screens and things, the only thing she doesn't like about Flight of Passage is that it makes her feel so. And then she used the emoji with the spinning eyes and a little wobbly, like the ooh face. Because that's how Flight of Passage, that's how Flight of Passage makes her feel because of screens and things. So it's a little
Motion
bit like
sickness, got
Guardians
it.
with the motion sickness issue. That's the only thing for me.
Guardians also actually has ride vehicles that are more accommodating of more body types, whereas Flight of Passage, some people can't ride it because of the way that the ride vehicles are made. Even if you just have like calves that are too wide and the ride vehicle can't lock into position, which if you feel like you might not fit into the ride vehicle or not be comfortable, go ahead and check out that tester seat right outside of the ride. Cast members will be happy to help you and let you know if you'll be able to ride so that you don't wait in what could be a very long line to sit on the back of a Banshee and do your own Flight of Passage. I will say, my favorite part of this ride is the seat as well. I love any like bike-shaped seat. Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure at Universal. I am ready for Tron. Put me on a bike. And I don't like biking that much in real life because it is cardio, but I feel like you feel like you're doing something when you're on a bike style ride vehicle. Also, this is something that I don't ever hear a lot of people talk about, but the thing that I think makes Flight of Passage feel so immersive is that instead of a regular ride soaring motion as you're flying through Moara, you can actually feel the dip as the wings on the Banshee flap. And I've never had something feel like I'm actually like riding a flying creature like that before. And that for me is what really sets that ride apart and makes me really excited to ride it every time.
Have you ever looked behind you, Quincy, when you're on the ride? Anybody, Emma Fry Bucket? It's low-key terrifying because it's
horrifying.
Each row is like one giant ride vehicle, and you can see your belongings in the wall, but it's just like really dropping you. You're like, oh gosh, that's it's really impressive what they've done. But also, I feel like we would not be doing service to Flight of Passage if we didn't talk about the queue.
She's long. She's a long queue.
I was going to say it was
long.
beautiful.
She's pretty.
But sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Beautiful.
It's beautiful and it's long. It's gorgeous, but you're in it forever. I mean, just the other night, Emma, Sage, and I were filming the Best Day Ever in a Crowded Animal Kingdom, and we waited over 2 hours after the park was closed for Flight of Passage.
That we
Yeah,
did.
it was tough.
But I
was
will
messy.
say, a majority of it, not all of it, of course, but a big majority of it is inside. So if you know it's going to rain for a while, maybe that's your time to get in line. That's what I've done before. But I also just think it's beautiful.
And there's
I don't
bathrooms.
mind. There are bathrooms in it too, which is a huge game changer for me.
I recommend, typically we always recommend things, ride them first thing, especially because this line can get super long because it is one of the most, sought after attractions in Animal Kingdom. But I like riding this at night because the first part of the queue is all outside, and that's when Pandora has its like second look, if you will, and all the bioluminescent things, and it is just gorgeous outside. I'm living for it.
It's gorgeous. It's very pretty.
When this ride opened, I would say that it was the best ride, but now we've had a bunch of new rides come in since then. I don't know if it's best anymore. It's great. It's an awesome ride, but I don't know if it's the best anymore.
I don't know. I mean, Friday, you have something that you think is better than all of these? Because I think
She's going to say alien swirling saucers. You're inviting it upon us.
No, I want your real life.
If you
opinion
say
that
alien
isn't
swirling
alien
saucers.
Are you ready?
It is not alien swirling saucers.
Okay, listen. It's not alien swirling saucers, but you want to know what the best ride is? Better than Guardians? Better
What
than
is
Rise of
it?
the Resistance? Better
Enlighten
than all of them?
us.
I don't think you're ready for this.
I'm ready.
Living with the Land.
No.
Oh my lord.
I don't even know. I'm at a loss for
Who
words.
invited her?
Look at how she's rubbing her hands like a villain. What?
Wait, so
I-
your readers said this though. This isn't
Yes.
just coming from you.
No, it's not just me, coming from many, many readers. RJ would agree with me. I should have brought RJ with me today. He could have been really good backup for me. Yes, it's Living with the Land. I've been preparing this whole episode for my argument. I've got stands in the comments ready to back me up, okay? Living with the Land. It's a gentle, calm boat ride through the indoor greenhouses at Epcot. You see Disney's innovative growing methods for plants, fish farming, all of that. Listen, I'm going to start off with a really big point. This is the last true Epcot original OG ride with Walt's original intentions for Epcot being a place where people live, they learn, we come up with new inventions, we solve world problems. Like, this is the last true actual Epcot ride, and for that reason so many people love it. They stan it very hard. It's got a cult following. It's a really good ride. It's an opening day attraction, originally called Listen to the Land, since then been renamed to Living with the Land. Also, let's just talk about the fact that there is no possible way that you could pitch this idea to Disney executives now in 2022.
Oh no way. That's true.
No
Like-
way.
Like,
Would
But
not.
people
the thought-
love it.
People love it. I mean, essentially, you're riding through this ride, watching plants grow. Like, they would not agree
Science.
to that, but I love it. I love it so much. I think it's awesome. Best ride in Disney World.
I will say I do also love Living with the Land. It is one of my top must rides when I'm in Epcot is Living with the Land, and that's especially great because it doesn't typically have a very long wait, maxing at about 20 minutes on even a busier day. The other thing I'll say is that Living with the Land is a ride that everyone can ride. Unlike all 3 of the others that we've talked about, Living with the Land is for everyone. Even babies can ride it. And you know what they say that babies love? Hydroponics.
They do.
So,
They do.
You know, I'm not a mom, so I don't think I had heard that, but it just must be my lack of experience.
Look, that's how they're watering the plants. It's just gorgeous. It's just amazing, isn't it?
happiest that baby's been in its entire life.
I will say that there are reader comments to back me up on this. They agree with me. First off, John, talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, he said, it's not even Epcot's best ride. Living with the Land for life. Peter said... For life. And life spelled L-Y-F-E. So like, for life.
I mean, it's definitely... I really do love Living with the Land. You know what else I love? The behind the scenes tour. Have any of you ever done that?
No, but I want to so bad.
I'm dragging all 3 of you on it. Yeah, we're all going. It's the behind the scenes tour is a backstage tour that goes alongside Living with the Land, basically. It's a walking tour through the greenhouses where you learn even more than you learn on Living with the Land about the hydroponics. Babies will love this tour.
Oh my gosh.
It's got everything it's got everything they like. Here comes the baby again.
I'm just gonna hold him the entire time. That's what I'm gonna do.
That's a good idea. It's a very fun tour, and it is one of the least expensive backstage tours that you can have in Disney World. It had a little bit of an upcharge. It's up in the 30s per person, but it's still relatively like well priced for a backstage experience at Disney, where some of those are literally hundreds of dollars. And it's only an hour out of your park day, so you're not using like half a park day. So behind the scenes, I know that has nothing to do. Guardians of the Galaxy doesn't have its own backstage tour.
No, it doesn't.
Also,
no, it doesn't.
Can we talk about the soundtrack though? The soundtrack to Living with the Land is probably okay. One, the ride is just super relaxing. Just it is, and just
boats.
Boats, bikes, Battlestar Galactica.
That's the Rise
Quincy.
of the Resistance one.
That's Quincy. Yeah, exactly. This is, I'm like being honest with everyone right now, and I don't usually do this. If I'm having trouble sleeping, there are 2 soundtracks that I will listen to. Number 1 is James Duty Dench and Spaceship Earth. Number 2 is Living with the Land, and it's like, and now this is how we farm back in the day, whatever he says. I don't know. I'm sleeping. That's why, whatever. But still, I love it. I could not love the soundtrack more. But is it the best? Come on, Fry Bucket.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people?
I think it's a really big contender.
I think it's a huge contender because how many people listen to the soundtracks of rides at their home? Just to, I think
I can say, no, hold on. I think I can say with full confidence that more people listen to the soundtrack of Guardians of the Galaxy, the songs that are on Guardians of the Galaxy, than they do the songs on Living with the Land.
No.
And I can wholeheartedly say that people at home watch the movie Star Wars more times than they listen to Living with the Land.
No, because we're gonna get specific. The people are not listening to the soundtrack of Guardians because you're not hearing the extra words that the Guardians are actually saying. That's not really the soundtrack. They're just listening to the songs. They're not listening to the actual soundtrack from the ride.
Fry Bucket's like, you know what people do when they're at home? Look at plants.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the best ride at Epcot, but it's definitely the healthiest ride at Epcot. I'll give it that much.
A lot of the produce grown in those greenhouses are actually served in the Land Pavilion, which is very cool.
I was going to say, a tip for parents. If you want your kids to eat lettuce, take them on Living with the Land, tell them it's Mickey's lettuce, he grew the lettuce himself, and then they'll eat it. So, it'll help you get your kids to eat some vegetables.
Also, pro tip, if you're on Living with the Land and you see the red ominous lighting where all the fish are, don't tell them that, hey, in just a little bit, we're going to go to Coral Reef and eat these bad boys. So don't do that. Just don't do that part.
It's a bad idea. Yeah, just go to Coral Reef and then look at the fish out the window as you eat fish. But those are different fish than the ones you eat. So living with the land is an experience. It's true.
I've never thought about that before. We're making direct We're making direct eye contact with them, going, "Hey, this could be you." That's awful.
What is it that you love at Coral Reef? It's the shrimp cocktail, isn't it?
No. It's the Caesar salad. They have the best.
The Caesar salad. Okay, you can eat the Caesar salad and look at fish. That's okay.
That's fine.
I mean, the dressing is made of anchovies, but that's okay. They don't know that. They don't know. This is a hot take. I respect it. And I respect every single one of our viewers who sent in Living with the Land as better than Guardians of the Galaxy, because that, to me, feels like you have strong beliefs and values, which I respect. We do have some honorable mentions as well.
Oh, we do? What?
Yeah, I know. A plot twist for you. Donna says, it is for now, but Tron Light Cycle Run will give it a run for its money, which I am excited about. Mark says, I think Rock and Roller Coaster offers more of a thrill. Rise of the Resistance left me smiling in awe when I got off the ride. I think that sounds like he's on your team, Sage, and likes Rise of the Resistance best. And then Robert said, Guardians is great and truly unique, but our favorite ride has always been Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, which is a really killer coaster as well. Do you guys have any picks that we haven't mentioned today as the best ride in Disney World? I think for me, truly, and we've talked about this before, Pirates of the Caribbean is probably the overall all-encompassing best ride in Disney World, as it is like something for everybody, has aspects of thrill. It's on a boat, anyone can ride it, and it's historic. However, I do think Guardians is a really killer ride as well. So
yeah,
any others?
I agree. The one that I guess I keep going back to in my brain as one of the best rides is, I feel like it just screams, okay, 1, everybody can ride it, right? 2, it's classic Disney. 3, I feel like there's something, is something for everybody. Everybody can ride it, and it's something for everybody. I feel like, and this is so like classic purist Disney of me, and I'm probably gonna be ashamed for saying, I feel like Haunted Mansion is just like, or like one of those like Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean. I feel like those classic like Disney rides, like that's the reason you're going to Walt Disney World, is because you've heard about these rides for years. You've seen it on television. You've seen it in the movies. And then why are you going? Right? I feel like
you ride Guardians, you have a great time. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You get it.
And Fry Bucket, of course, Aliens Flying Saucers, we know.
Aliens Soaring Saucers, yes. No, but really, if I can't choose Living with the Land, I'll put that one aside for now. I would have added Haunted Mansion, and I'm really surprised this one wasn't an honorable mention, but I would say Tower of Terror, because that also includes everything that we've been talking about. Great storytelling, thrill. I mean, not everyone can ride that one, but that would also be a good contender.
Last time I rode Tower of Terror with Emma, she spent the entire time clutching my thigh with the force of like an iron grip. It was insane.
With the force from Darth Vader.
The force from Darth Vader.
My Darth Vader. Yeah, no, I was actually going to disagree, unfortunately, with your tower one as a famous fearer of heights. It's not a people pleaser. Like it can't please everyone. And I think a lot of our discussion has been trying to see what a little bit of everybody could like. And I can't get behind Tower. Even though it has I think one of the best stories in all of Disney World, the best theming, I will ride it just so I can walk through the queue.
The lobby.
Hold up. Yeah, the lobby.
Yeah.
The way that I think about that.
I'm shocked you didn't say Dinosaur or Everest. Or like one of those two.
I love those.
We talk about those rides all the time.
We do, and they're my favorite. Like they are some of my favorites across the park. But I just don't think they're Emma favorites, but not number one best ride favorites. Does that make sense? Those are two very different things.
Mm-hmm. That's an important distinction.
I want to have a people discussion, not an Emma discussion.
I think it's clear that obviously Guardians of the Galaxy is best. All right, thank you for coming.
No. How dare you?
Living with the Land.
Anyone
Living with the Land.
Might have passed.
All right, let's all say it at the same time. Alien swirling saucer.
Guardians of the
That's our show,
Galaxy.
everybody.
Okay,
Have a
fly
good day.
past.
Bye.
Have a different opinion? Let us know down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And remember, at AllEars.net is how you can follow our socials on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for future surveys. We'll see you next time.